Oh, hello everyone, Ito here and welcome back to another week of this Minecraft series. And oh boy, this week I have been doing like heavy terraforming work. So actually, as you can see, I got a lot of inventory stuff on my hand because I was doing gravel, andesite, and stone. And actually, I'm going to give you in a journey on my terraforming process. So let's jump with it right now because buckle up, it's going to be a lot. So now, whenever you came up into our base, you are going to be received by this huge terry gate. And I like it because it's a mixture in between a terry gate and also like a kauto, like a samurai helmet, so it's really cool. And yeah, you get like the slanted shape here for kind of resembling the roof with the same colors or kind of a texture as that one with the deep slate. And also we got the Sachikoko that we are using in pretty much every single one besides the Wendar. And I need to do the Wendar actually. So yeah, that's one thing. Also, I got these statues here which are holding our red katana, which is the same weapon that we are using. And when you look at this from far away, it's like a coin. So it's also cool. I would rather have this in terms of a proper holding of a sword, but for some reason it's just floating there, so it is what it is, I guess. And also, these banners are really cool because when I was thinking into fixing these from the inner part of my base, actually, these came together in my testings, and I need one of that banners because I wanted to hide out that stair there. So I tested the red one, it was too reddish here, and since you can see this is kind of a more of a darker corner, it didn't work. I tested with the more yellowish one, it was even worse because what I wanted to hide was that stair that from the outside it's really good, but from the inside actually it's terrible because it breaks kind of the full immersion of this big chunk of wall, kind of a wall, not wall. So yeah, I needed to cover it, and then the banner with the lanterns kind of came really well together because the shape resembles a lot of the magma thingy. So in order for doing that, I tested out with this red one, and I tested out with this red with black, and neither of them worked out. So now I just reuse them, and I have kept them from for like a couple of months away even. So I don't. That's kind of why I don't throw out my stuff. They help me with kind of come up with inspiration later on the road. So this is the Torrey Gate entrance, and I love how I use the copycat panels here for actually making this feel more sturdy. So for something really simple, actually works really well. And then you move out here. I just added pressure plate because I could, and to make it like a more bricky stone road. And then of course you got kind of a one road over the Tenos Pavilion, another one for the main one, another one for the Aidonos Night. So yeah, that's kind of at the start. Actually someone else is leaving. So let's not quit here and keep going over, because when you enter here, you are going to notice that I added some of the lichen. And also the cool thing about this pathway is kind of showing you the way that you can go. So whenever the stair is pointing out, pretty much it's kind of your pathway here. So if you follow this road, this is kind of coming out of nowhere. But if you follow the road here, you came from here, you can keep going straight up. And then here you got a fork to the right, which is kind of, again, following this one, it's Idona. And when you came back, you also can take the road and then take one turn to the left to the Tenos Pavilion. And again, you can go in and then you can go back. So these are kind of the small little things that if I don't show you, probably you are not going to notice, but I love. So another of the things that I can do here for showing you is actually why this kind of a border of the road is actually blue. And this is because I wanted to showcase how the buildings are connected together. And of course I got this kind of a straight pathway, and I need to separate the stone pretty much from the gravel on the sides and everything. So what I did here is I waterlogged every single stairs. The only things that are kind of not waterlogged are actually this stair path here, because, you know, it got blocked on the road and everything else is kind of cemented. That also why kind of the road path ends here on the Tenos Pavilion, because then we reach like the river that we are going to see in a moment. Here it's kind of cool because it goes a little bit like this pathway onto the temple itself, and outside here it's even cooler because actually, camera again. So yeah, this is kind of getting put off, and it's kind of cool because you can see like the power from the temple, kind of the different divisions that are working or were working here before Idona struck off, you know, because we were experimenting with the divine paradox and the godly powers. Well, the power is actually cut off after passing the gate here. So it's kind of a cool way of showing you the importance a little bit of the three gates, because they're intended to kind of, if you want, purify your soul. It's a little bit kind of when you go into Christianity and make penance, so you kind of purify your soul without going too deep into that lore. So whenever you go here, it's like, oh, everything is connected to the powers of the gods, and it's kind of a small boundary if you want that temple building outside of the temple building complex. So that's kind of a cool thing to have. And also I surrounded also here and integrated the wavestone from kind of for our whole setup here. And I like it because I got that from the start and I just put there that on a whim. And I think it's kind of a really cool. So yeah, that's kind of another thing that I have. And probably in the future I'm going to try to use this pressure plate as kind of a markers of when the player's here, because now we are playing with the auto player mode, and allows us to have custom stuff. That's why kind of the players are going crazy. They're all the guys here with the with the music disc thingy. So yeah, hopefully in the future we can add a little bit of ambience here, and that's going to be telling you more of the story. I don't think I want to record the stuff like a museum, so mostly it's going to be ambience that I want to add, or maybe mob sound, but yeah, that's going to make everything here more immersive. So this is pretty much from the pathways. I need to do a little bit more of showcase of my decorations. So when you come out of the temple here, you are always getting received by my lanterns, but as you can see them, I have changed it. So I also added a new statue here, which is the statue of the snake. And yeah, it got cheeky tongue. It got these are slabs of the red nether bricks, but they are on invisible item frames. And of course, I took the model of kind of a snake or a nest into over the internet, but I took it into here, and then I added the copycat panel for giving a little bit more of characters here with the belly, and also on the tail there. And I put everything in top of these and the side pillars for the create mod, so these kind of create a little bit of extra contrast, especially because of the dark bars, which ties everything together with the Idona side and the cages. So it came kind of cool together. But also we grabbed the idea of having the blocks corroded by Idona and also already kind of used up or scorched out. And we do the same with the lanterns originally, but also I now included the gold ones, so tying this together with the Wendar side of the temple, and then did the same with the blue ones, tying it together with the Tenos pavilion, and then I even went ahead and also worked with the same thing over the frog there. So now you can see the frog is also with the blue, also with the red because Idona's scores, but also the Tenos power here, and also the one that I scorched. So now with this you can see like this turtle is also a little bit blind because lost sight of one of the eyes. I kind of like that. So hear me out. I just gave you already the scope on the wide range of everything, starting kind of from the entrance here, from the pathway, and also how kind of I envision the whole terrain by doing this magic here. Okay, so Tori Gate, pathway to the different point kind of big buildings, and then kind of a future projects in the future. But another thing that I want to show you is kind of this works on the bigger scheme, which is you could call the far away distance, but also this works in this kind of a middle distance that when you are traveling here, you can also go from point of interest to point of interest to point of interest to point of interest, point of interest, another point of interest, and that part is going to be empty unless I decide to fill the crevasse, which is something that could happen, but so far I got no clue on that. So what we are going to do now, hopefully you get the full scope on what I'm going with here, is we are going to go with one point of interest toward the other, because I spent a lot of time this week actually kind of making everything in terms of point of interest pretty much totally done. I think I don't need to add anything else. I think everything is perfect. So actually, let me show you how this goes. Because for a long time we got this card here, which is a little bit crooked, and it's in a kind of a small diagonal, because you can see one wheel here, but the other wheel it's kind of on this other side, so it's not like a straight line. That's why it's kind of a crooked like this. I just don't know, I like to do stuff like this. So these are kind of my small challenges for myself. Like, instead of doing it easy, I just make it in a more interesting shape or texture or whatsoever, so one thing at a time. And I really love this card. So it's a simple design, but since now it's a little bit crooked, and of course this one is kind of falling apart already, I think it works really well. So this card is coming out with the calcite. When the calcite got totally abandoned or totally in the raw form, it's called diorite. But we don't talk about that poop here, so no. And also, when it's not properly watched out, you know, kind of matchy things start to grow here. So, of course, sometimes you lose when you move them, you lose some of the rocks here, and then you need to process them. I need to figure out that actually, in the original kind of lore here, everything was made of these calcite thingies. So this is calcite from the create mod, and they are used like kind of they are the polished version, if you want, or the good version of these calcite. So we needed to came with the calcite from somewhere, and in this case, that somewhere is that way. I mean, yeah, we are not going to terraform the whole world, you know, so you need to believe that you need to believe pretty much that actually that's what's happening. So since the card is heavy, it's going to leave the rail marks over here, and you are going to see actually that it's coming from this other side. But the cool thing about this is you can see here, besides the bevel, of course, that you see a little bit of extra mud, and we are using the dripstone blocks as mud because we are on 118, so of course here we don't have the packet mud, no everything fancy like that. But then you see like even the road, the wheel marks here are still kind of coming over up to this point, and where I just left it open on the whole forest because, to be honest, I don't want to keep going there. It's not that important to me. And also, this is something that I need to tell you, but I am a short-sighted person in real life. That's also why my kind of characters wear sunglasses, because I'm also like photosensible in terms of my eyes. So my eyes are sensitive a lot to the sky. So actually, if I look at that with my own eyes, I'm going to be in a lot of pain. Like a lot of pain, so don't do that. But that means that whenever I look at stuff like this in the real world, actually to me all of the trees kind of merge together. So to me the trees are the background, then the pathway is like the middle ground, and then the point of interest is what is in front here, which is the thing that you experience with. So I go with a lot of details here, then I go with interesting things, but don't go crazy with the middle part, and just pretty much leave the background empty, because I like Minecraft. I don't like to do kind of a bigger background unless I'm working like with a box or something like that, so I rather don't do that. Also, it's like a big project, and I'm not beat up, so we don't do that. But yeah, this is the point of interest when you get the calcite. Of course, no working area here, no processing that. After all, this is a temple, this is not like a workshop, so I didn't want it to create like the whole story. I want to leave the gaps, so you can here feel it by believing like masons worker came here and they processed this kind of like their offering to the temple, and the monks pretty much they feed them for the job, and then they went away with the blessings of the Divine Paradox Temple. So yeah, we got this mount here, which was originally also my villager breeder, but due to lag, we just got this disabled. But the building is still here. And then you follow the mud tracks here, which is kind of when the people are working here and this becomes more muddy. Then you start opening on this back side, but also you can go with the pathway on this other side. And this is kind of a explanation why this is muddy. It's because this river, it got tainted by Idona, that's what that is reddish. And since the people worked here, they grab like the water, they work with the calcite, and in this pathway everything becomes muddy. So following me so far? Well, now we got these things that I just placed on the screen because I thought it looked cute, and now it makes even more sense because now this distiller is actually, with this new tank from the create mod, is distilling the muddiest water from the Idona. So you can see that that logs got corrupted because of the Idona river, and then grab the water, purify it, so the bubbles are Idona concentrated power that are kind of pushed away, and then you get fresh water. So it's loop and fresh water. That's kind of the thing. So yeah, that's the vibe that we are going with the river here. I added a little bit. Oh no, Idona. Okay. Oh no, I dip in water again. Okay. So we added a little bit of current, so that way it doesn't look so plain, but sadly I just, while I was placing the blocks here, I just lost that, and I don't know how to make it current again. Water is painful in Minecraft, so we're just going to leave it that. But if I had another way of adding more kind of a current here, it's going to be really cool. And then later on, I added a whole other thing on the back. So here we are in the side of the Tenos pavilion, and Tenos is the god of knowledge. And I wanted to do something here that you are coming from this point of interest, you know, calcite, kind of a rocky formation for the villager that we just call it the mound, and then something on the back. And for a long time I didn't know what to add on the back, so I kind of racked my brain, and then I said, you know what, it's going to be a cemetery. So this way you come over the bridge, and let me show you the bridge actually, because it's really, really cool. We got this kind of arched way bridge, and you can see also the archway here. So it's really cool in that way. And also it's kind of easy to travel, so you just go here, and it's a little bit crooked, and I like to do small stuff like this, you know, like the card is also crooked, and also the 30 gate, you can see it's also crooked, so no straight line. No putting the edges here, just going for the full work here. And yeah, you come over the bridge, you start getting into this area where I got all of the different gravestones for the monks and the deceased people, you know. So this is kind of a part of what the temple needs to do as part of their work. And of course, I just added an ancient style of things here with some of the pebbles that came from the walling. And then I just did something that I used a long time ago, which was the use of the glass paste for smoothing out some of the texture that you can have around the walls. So if you look at that and pay attention on the corners, I did the same for trying to add the same idea of a more rounded tower for the whole thing. And I need to zoom out because, again, I'm short-sighted, so I need to see this with a zoom out, but probably you can tell the same here. I really don't know about the YouTube compression thingy and about the quality of the video, but if you can look at that from here and see what I'm kind of trying to convey, it's the same when I do this, which probably to you is just too bad, but to me, this is just unintelligible, but this is kind of what they wanted to convey. So bear with me here, because now on the cemetery, you are going to see that I use the exact same thing, but for straighten up the whole wall. So I use these paints, so actually instead of having like this super jagged edge wall in here, because it's connected to the block, it's now way more softer. So it looks like it's kind of a totally different. And then I just added a little bit of point of interest, especially on the corners here and there. So you can see even there, for example, it's like the wall is ending on that point, even when actually the wall is connected on the other side. So yeah, small things here and there. And also we added, ooh, snowy. We also added the lamp there. And one of the things that I liked a lot, deal with the snow, is actually this crooked post. Because it's a little bit like an archway. And of course, I got these probably from inside the vault. I really don't remember where I got these banners, but I think they look cool. And yeah, that light is actually also with their own timer thingy, which is this guy. Armor stand on top of redstone ore, and this is just a 6-second delay when this goes off. So whenever it gets the signal here, just like now, it's going to be off for 6 seconds, and then the flickering is going to be over, and it's totally light up. So yeah, that's kind of how we light up actually the cemetery here. And it looks really cool and ominous here. Look at that. Oh boy, isn't it lovely? It's really majestic. So following with the tour here now, you are going to see that we have a small 30 gate here. And the main reason why I added this is because here I wanted to make some type of breaking in between the pathway, which is 5 blocks long, and this entryway, which is only 3. So I needed to add something here, and then I started adding posts. I tried to do a small lamp, but didn't work, and then we came out with this new small gate, which is kind of cool. I love the design, and also I love how the dark oak merged together with the blossom really well. If you are doing this on early versions, try to change the blossom with the mangrove, and it's still going to look good. You can keep the, by the way, the red nether brick. These are still good. But yeah, this is kind of what we have in terms of the entrance over there. But also you can see that I changed all of the granite here now for this more grayish texture. So it's kind of a cool because merged together with this from far away. But when you're in close up, actually kind of a heighten them up. So this is what I intended. I intended this from when you are far away, like here, it's like, okay, cool stuff, but these are the things that pop out. When you are closing it, you can actually tell the different details, and that allows you to come closer and actually to inspect them into, of course, a closer perspective. And I really love this because it feels like more in kind of a drawing you toward them instead of just looking at things from the back way. So whenever I talk about kind of a near range or mid range and then long range, I talk about this is mid range, but it also works when you are close range, when you are looking at them with here. So that's kind of the idea. But if we follow here the shape, we go in the next point of interest, which is actually the frog. And this frog has been with us from pretty much the start of this whole building thing. But now I think it kind of came up really well here, because now it pop out. I also kind of terraform a little bit of the back there. But also I think now it's kind of at the right place, because the blue is talking more about the Tenos one, while the red one is talking more about the Idona, and the black one also talks about the Scorched part, which is pretty much everything here. And as you can see over here, we added the basalt, and also we added some of the kind of a cover parts here, and we left that side open, which is where we got more kind of a contraptions. But from whenever you see, it's like everything is integrated well together. So now it's kind of a way more of an interesting shape. You can see this from far away and merge together well, but when you are here, it's even more interesting. So I love that. And of course, now the frog is even with its own little text. So, oopsie. I love that. I don't know why that is these small details are the things that make me super happy. So yeah, now the frog actually sadly though it lost one eye. That's the Idona's fault. So yeah, it's kind of like me, because my left eye is like totally screwed up. So I wanted to add a little bit of myself here, and if you know how bad my eyesight is, well, now you get the frog here why it has that. But other than that, I think everything came together really tight together well. And now also, the terrain here is actually connecting, ignore the snow please, I just need to deal with the snow, is now even tied together with the whole type of the terrain. And this is just enough for merging everything together. And again, just a side back here, everything is kind of a more muddy because people came over here. But on this other side, when there is no kind of more connection with the people, but something that you look from the outside part, it's just more grayish terrain, and that's kind of the same thing. So yeah, what's that we have here, and now we need to go and look for the last part. So now you follow me here on the side of the temple, you are going to see that if you follow the pathway here, you are going to encounter a brand new score, a kind of a crooked tree, and I love this. Of course, I extended again the terrain. I just added this tree going like crooked like that. And from every single point it's like interesting because here it's like more plain, but also with different branches on the side. And then of course here it's even more crooked because you can see everything, so you can go down kind of in the inner parts of the tree, and it's interesting from every single point. And also, this is like my second tree ever made custom. So yeah, What do you think? I got the big tree, which was my first one, and now this is my second one. And of course, when I'm working with these smaller detailed ones, I found it kind of a more pleasant to work with instead of the big ones. But to me, it's really cool because from every angle, besides this one is kind of the only one lacking, but I still like it. It's just super interesting. We got the cherry trees, we got the flowers with the green leaf, and of course, this has been flowering down. So yeah, you can see we use the copycat steps and also the panel for kind of adding different shapes for the leaves, and of course, we got the pink petals going down. So I love it. But yeah, now this is kind of a feeling more of the Belara side. So we extended the basin. Of course, we changed everything here in terms of the terrain, even behind the basin over there. I just changed everything, and now all of this, it's also, well, besides that part, because everything that is behind the portal, by the way, is work in progress, but everything that is on the side or kind of in front of my base, it's actually done. So yeah, I also, with the Belara extension, now I need to move this whole pathway up, and I just need to show you what are going to be my plans forward. So yeah, this has been a lot, but we just need last push. So yeah, here we are. And this is kind of this new place, by the way, where I carved out all of the entirely thing here. And over the last stream of the week, we terraformed this side. We came together with different ideas, and I'm not going to go with all the details because that's going to be for the future, but I just want to give you a frame of reference in terms of how much work has been spent here. And also, why this was important is because it's tied to what we just saw, which is the portal in itself. I want you to feel like the temple got a whole point of kind of, it got a mean to be, and it's not just me being bored. It's just kind of a whole purpose. And the purpose of the temple is because it's called the Divine Paradox. It's opening the portal that is going to be shaped like the Divine Paradox and everything. I know, it looks ugly and it's just floating, but trust me, it's going to be working. But now, if you follow me with the idea, the pathway is going to extend upwards toward that point, or even a little bit higher up. So that is the white pathway from the Divine Paradox pathway. But then this is going to be another part of the terrain, and if you want like a non-monk person go into the portal, well, you can, because it's just out of reach. So that's kind of the whole thing. Like, I want to choke it. The only way possible to access the portal is by going through the temple, which is exactly what we want for the Divine Paradox. This is, after all, the temple of the Divine Paradox. So I want you to see now that all of the ideas came together. We enter through the Tori gate, we go through the different kind of divisions where we can understood Tenos, go with Wendar, connect with Belara, even study Idona. Then different kind of a life sprouted here with the calcite for building the temple, toward the cemetery honoring the people that worked out here up to some point, towards the side over this space where actually the Belara is kind of a forest probably sprouted, and we can even tie together that these small flowers are going to be the Belara's blessings toward everything surrounding our own base. At least kind of what I'm going to try. And later on, that you need to take the pathway from the temple all the way to the portal. And of course, then we're going to have more stuff here. But they are not going to be related to the temple, because the whole pathway is kind of these are the confines of the temple in itself. So yeah, hopefully with that you get a better understanding of why that was important and why we needed to carve out this part. Now, of course, we just need to change in these blocks, granite and dripstone with gravel, stone, make it everything more great here, because again, all of these could not be interesting. This needs to be boring, this needs to be plain, because this is going to be the back of what we want to tell here. So if you're interested into more things here and understanding what's going to happen, feel free to drop by on my Twitch, because oh boy, we are going to be working more into this part. And yeah, so see you there. Bye bye.